Hello everyone, welcome to my channel The Medicos. So this video is basically about the diabetes mellitus, but before talking about diabetes mellitus I would like to explain about the normal insulin metabolism or the mechanism. Now pancreas, as we know that pancreas, it is an retroperitoneal abdominal organ which is located into the posterior and inferior part of the stomach. Now it plays an essential role in converting the food we eat into fuel for body cells. Now pancreas, it has two functions, exocrine and endocrine function. Exocrine, it helps in the digestion, whereas the endocrine, it regulates the blood sugar. Now let's get started with the endocrine part of the pancreas. Now as we know that pancreas has small lobules which consists of the islets of Langerhans. Now these islets of Langerhans have further four cells, which is alpha cell, which constitutes about 20%, beta cell, which constitutes about 70%, delta cell about 5 to 10%. Now as you can see, there is a list of the pancreatic hormone, the cells which produce it and the functions of each. Talking about insulin, it is produced by the beta cell. Okay, it maintains the blood glucose level by decreasing the blood glucose level. Okay, and then the next is amylin. Okay, again produced by the beta cell. It slows the gastric emptying to prevent the sudden rise into the blood glucose level. Next is glucagon, which is produced by the alpha cell. This again helps in maintaining the blood glucose level by increasing the blood glucose level. Somatostatin, produced by the delta cell, it regulates or maintains the secretion of the other hormones from the islet cells. Pancreatic polypeptide, produced by the gamma cell, it helps in the GI function. Ghrelin, released or produced by the epsilon cell, also known as the hunger hormone, it causes an increase in the appetite. Okay, now we will be talking about insulin. Now, insulin is a peptide hormone which is produced by the beta cells within the pancreas. Peptide hormone, which means that it is made up of a chain of amino acid. Now, the function of insulin is the movement of the glucose from the blood within the cells. Okay. Now, as you can see the structure of insulin over here, there are two chains, that is chain A and chain B. Okay. Now this chain A and chain B are connected to each other through disulfide bonds. Okay. There are two disulfide bonds and there is a third bond, disulfide bond over here. Okay. Now let's see. So talking about the synthesis of insulin. Now the major stimulus for both the synthesis and the release of insulin is glucose. This insulin is produced into the beta cells of the islets of Langerhans. Okay. Now initially it is formed as a pre-proinsulin. Okay. Now pre-proinsulin, it is a single chain of 86 amino acid precursor polypeptide. What happens is that the subsequent proteolysis which removes the amino terminal signal peptide. Okay, this N-terminal signal sequence, okay, which leads to the formation of the proinsulin. Now in proinsulin, as you can see that chain A and chain B are both connected to chain C. Okay. Now further there is cleavage of the chain C leading to the formation of mature form of insulin. This chain A and chain B are only connected to each other through the two disulfide bonds. Okay. Now a very important point is that the C peptide over here, as you can see, it is less susceptible to the degradation in the liver and is therefore a marker to distinguish, okay, between the insulin which is produced inside the body and the insulin which is administered from outside the body. Okay. Now talking about the secretion of the insulin. Now as we know that glucose is the key regulator of the insulin secretion. So what happens in the hypoglycemic condition? When there is hypoglycemia, it stimulates the transport of the glucose into the beta cell. Now how is this glucose transported? This glucose is transported through the GLUT2. Okay, this GLUT2 is nothing but it is a glucose transporter medium. Okay, now an islet transcription factor, also known as the glucokinase, it causes the glucose phosphorylation leading to the production of glucose 6 phosphate. Okay, along with the production of glucose 6 phosphate, there is also generation of the ATP. Now this phosphorylation of the glucose, it occurs into the mitochondria. Okay, now what happens is this ATP, okay, it alters the ion channel activity on the membrane. This causes the inhibition of the ATP sensitive potassium channel, okay, on the cell membrane, thus opening the calcium channel, okay, with resultant influx of the calcium. Okay, this influx of the calcium is causes or releases the insulin. Now, the half of the insulin is secreted from the beta cell into the portal vein, which is degraded in the liver, while remaining half enters the systemic circulation for action on the target cell. Now, the insulin from the circulation, it binds to the insulin receptor on the target cell, okay, and the target cell. Now insulin receptor, it has an intrinsic tyrokinase activity. This insulin, okay, causes an opening of this glucose gate which leads to the entry of the glucose into the cell. Now let's see how insulin works. Now insulin, if there is a high blood sugar, this promotes the insulin release from the pancreas. Okay, it stimulates the pancreas, which causes the release of insulin. Now insulin, it causes the conversion of the glucose into the glycogen, okay, in the liver, okay, which further releases the lower blood sugar. Now this insulin also stimulates the tissue or the cells of the muscle, kidney and the adipose cell, which causes an increase in the uptake of the glucose from the blood, further lowering the blood sugar level. So talking about the functions of the insulin. Now the major actions of the insulin are, okay, number one, it facilitates the glucose transport through the certain membranes, okay, like the adipose tissue and the muscle cells, okay. Number two, there is stimulation of the enzyme system for conversion of the glucose to the glycogen, okay. Now it occurs in the liver and the muscle. Now next, number down of the gluconeogenesis. Now gluconeogenesis is the production of the glucose, okay, which are, so there is slow down of the glucose production. Number four, there is regulation of the lipogenesis. Now lipogenesis is further the production of the lipids, okay. So there, if there is more lipid production, then there can be more uptake of the glucose into the adipose cells, okay. Now there is promotion of the protein synthesis and growth, which is a general. Diabetes mellitus. As we all know that diabetes mellitus is a disorder due to the deficiency or the disruptions in the production of the insulin. It is also a lifestyle disorder nowadays, okay. Now let's see what is diabetes according to the definition. Now it is a heterogeneous metabolic disorder which is characterized by common features of chronic hyperglycemia, okay, with disturbances of the carbohydrate, fat and protein metabolism. Now talking about the types of diabetes mellitus, okay, there are four types. Type 1 diabetes mellitus, which is also called as insulin dependent or the juvenile onset diabetes, okay. Then type 2 diabetes, which is also known as non-insulin dependent or maturity onset of the diabetes. Then there is gestational diabetes, which occurs in the pregnancy. And then there are other specific type of the diabetes. Now this diabetes mellitus I will be talking in my next video. Thank you.